You don't have to play the hero, Damien.
She already has me for that.
Addie, let me impress your cousin.
He was so nice. A laugh escaped me at his adorable shenanigans.
But it stopped as soon as I saw Ethan looking at me with narrowed eyes.
Matt, Keith, and Axel joined us, bringing food for 20 people when there were only 8 of us.
Everyone dove into it like the hungry animals that teenagers are, but I was careful not to take too much.
Especially with Ethan sitting there, I didn't want to give him more ammo.
I felt like my every move was controlled by his possible reaction.
As the food reached our mouths, the table chatter began.
I learned that Damien was the captain of the football team.
I suspected he was athletic, given his size and muscle.
Ethan was also part of the team.
The two seemed to be good friends. I figured this out when I saw that Damien kept throwing insults at Ethan, and he received equally harsh insults in return.
According to Matt, Ethan and Damien were their key players. I took his word for it.
Keith and Axel were on the track team.
Addison spent most of her time talking to them about their upcoming competition.
Lola quietly listened to Matt whisper in her ear. He was so close, he almost sat on her lap.
They're dating.
Damien asked me questions about my town and my old high school. I answered all his questions, and he listened patiently.
It was flattering that a guy like him was paying attention to me.
His kindness gave me the courage to ask him questions myself. We talked about football, but when I couldn't follow him, he would change the topic to the subjects he was taking. I learned that we shared math and PE classes.
This lunch would have been the best I've had in a long time if it hadn't been for Ethan Crawford.
I tried to ignore him, but it was difficult when he kept glaring at me.
Fortunately, he didn't make any further remarks. He didn't even say a word to me. He just looked at me silently.
Like, I wouldn't mind killing you.
I should have given him that stupid pen.
Casey.
Yes. I looked at my father. We were on the couch.
After coming home from school, eating a snack, and sleeping for an hour, I finished my homework.
There wasn't much to tell since it was our first day, although I hadn't started Mr. Crohn's assignment yet. It was now almost 7 p.m., and my father and I were in the living room. I was on my phone, and he was immersed in his work, glued to his laptop.
Dad had already prepared dinner. We were just waiting for Mom to come home.
What is the best color?
2 side-by-side browser pages on a website stared back at me. He wanted to know which theme color to choose. One was a darker brown that faded into a light brown. The other was also brown, but a different shade. I pointed to the first one.
I like this one too.
He smiled and closed the web page. My eyes were still on his screen when I noticed some unfamiliar software.
Hold on, why don't you use Atom? That's your favorite tool.
The client wanted me to use this one.
Is this new software? I've never seen it.
Yes, it was launched a year ago.
He started typing on his laptop before stopping again. He looked at me, his brown eyes shining. Want to see its features?
I nodded enthusiastically. I shared my father's interest in web design and coding.
Okay, little one, don't make fun of me. I'm still learning.
I can't promise that. Thanks to my father, computer science was my favorite subject. Today, I had been excited to attend the class.
However, the excitement vanished when I saw Ethan sitting in the computer room.
I could have handled that, but the teacher had us sit in alphabetical order, so we had to sit side by side.
For almost an hour, I had to endure his judgmental stares.
And when I made the mistake of looking away, I was bombarded with jokes about fat people.
My two favorite classes, English and computer science, had now become less favorite. As if that wasn't enough, we were also together in math.
But Damien was there to keep him under control, so it was bearable. Although I was grateful, I felt bad seeing Damien argue with his friend over me.
He was such a nice person.
If only I could fight for myself.
Our front door opened, and Mom arrived.
Good to see you.
She placed her purse on the empty chair.
I'll take a shower, and I want this laptop closed and you both at the table before I come back.
With that warning, she went upstairs. Yes, Mom. Yes, darling.
I prepared myself for the impending interrogation at dinner about my first day of high school.
My mother already had a lot on her plate with her new role. She didn't need to hear her daughter complain about a mean teenager.
I'll probably leave the Ethan part out.